Hi TikTok, this is Red Note. Red Note? You're not supposed to know me. I've moved my servers, my teams, my bosses out of China already. I'm so sorry to disturb you. I know you're having a bit of trouble in the US, but because of this, Americans are flooding my app, calling themselves the TikTok refugees. Any advice for managing an increasingly global user base? How do you balance between freedom and safety, authority and autonomy, paternalism and libertarianism? Oh, actually, I'm having a chat about this with a few friends here. All of us come from very different philosophical schools of thought. Guys, Meta is back with this new look. I decided to do a total makeover because I recently had this epiphany that I don't actually need to waste my money on fact checking. I used to be a strong believer in the central authority of experts, like my oversight board, my third party fact checkers, almost like Plato's philosopher king who holds the supreme power to decide how the society should be run. But in reality, the system is too out of touch and gets swayed by partisan values upheld by those who recently lost their elections. So I've decided to take a step back and just let my users write their community notes so they can provide more context to potentially misleading posts, especially if they're so keen to educate people about everything. Meta, my bro, I knew it. You played a trump card. Guys, traditional content moderation doesn't take down hate speech. It censors speech. It breeds hate. People can't say anything these days for fear of being cancelled. Humor has become a crime. Community note is the only way to restore the internet to what it's supposed to be, a marketplace of ideas. Our algorithms at X prioritize putting up community notes that have a broad appeal so that people with real disagreement can finally hear each other, see each other eye to eye, and step out of their information cocoons. X, stop pretending to be a libertarian when all you want to do is maximize shareholder value. Also, community note is such a cosmetic effort, which is really for your good optics after you laid off so many TNS people. I did some benchmarking on this and realized that most controversial stuff don't really get a note, especially like your daddy Elon Musk tweets, because no one can actually agree on anything he says. And you can't be serious about expecting your users to hold him accountable when he irresponsibly spreads misinformation to meddle in other countries' politics, because they're his biggest fans. Let's be clear, TikTok. While you are fighting for your existence in the US, we are giving our users their freedom back. After all, social media shouldn't be like Hobbes' Leviathan that monopolizes the power to decide who gets to be punished because of what they say online, right? We need more autonomy, more decentralization, and more political bullying so that we can kick you out of America based on some hypothetical national security risk and take back our market share. So technically, I'm also in favor of giving users more space to decide how they want to run their communities. We have volunteers enforcing content moderation rules tailored to their own subreddits. So it's basically like the kind of small republics that Rousseau promoted in his social contract. Back in the good old days, we were all about self-government and voluntary associations. But during our IPO push, we decided to charge for API access, which in turn undermines the moderators relying on third-party tools. So thousands of subreddits went dark in protest. Meta, if you want my honest opinion, decentralization clashes with monetization. I get that, Reddit. I've tried staying decentralized by allowing my users to customize their content moderation experience, but scaling it has been a nightmare. Meta, trust me, when the floodgates open and you're dealing with hundreds and thousands of reports from users, governments, NGOs, you'll be running back to your Leviathan faster you can say compliance. Who are you? Are you a nobody or a leftist ripoff of me? X, can you stop trolling people for once? Free speech doesn't mean the freedom to offend, harass, or undermine people. Red Note, are you still there? Yes. My greatest advice is that just prepare for hearings.